What's going on, everybody? My name's Derek, and this is Fatal RPM. Now, in today's video, we have a couple things we are going to be getting done with the Z. So, I got a new windshield wiper motor. Well, new is a loose term. I got a used windshield wiper motor for the Z, as well as a nut for the rear windshield wiper. But the most important thing in today's video is going to be this guy. I got a Tomei fuel pressure regulator to support all the mods that we're going to be doing in the future. This is desperately needed, as the last time I went and started up the Z, I did notice that we had a leak in our current fuel pressure regulator. So let me actually show you what's going on out there. Alright, so right here, actually, last time I went to go and start up the car, I let it run for a couple minutes, and then I was like, you know what, let me check under the hood and make sure everything's good. I came under here, and I see, you can actually still see where it was. I see something wet right here, so I touch it, I smell it, and I go like, oh, that's fuel, that's not good. And my dumbass was looking around the engine, and I was like, oh, wait, the fuel pressure regulator's right here. And it was dripping from right up under there. So we know it's not that fitting, and it's coming from under here, and this is all one piece right here. It just has this monitor here, goes to that, and then so on and so forth. So we have the Tomei one here. The only thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to take this over to the new one. We'll see. I do have, I think, 3 ports on this one here, not including one going down. Might be 2. I'm not entirely sure. We'll get it open though. We have these fittings that I got for this. So behind this, what we're going to be doing is you have the 2 lines coming off the fuel rail that go into the back of this. What I'm going to be doing is I have some 5/16 fuel line here. We're going to cut that and cut one of these smaller ones here, and we're going to have a T coming off of that. So one's going to come around and into it, and then the other one's going to come off of it, and then we're going to have a line going around to the side of the fuel pressure regulator. Now it seems like it's going to bolt up right in there, because you can see right about there we do have a screw. Unfortunately, the other screw seems like it's not in there, but from what I could see, this looks like it might go right in the same place, but I guess we'll see. So let's go ahead and get it open. All right, so right here we have the fuel pressure regulator. We got some fittings. We have 2 AN fittings and 2 5/16 fittings. Other than that, inside the box we have the actual gauge right here, which is a bar gauge. Oh my goodness. So this is actually, it says kilograms per cubic centimeter. So I'm going to have to convert that over to imperial, so I know PSI instead of that. But here is the fuel pressure regulator. So we can see, looks like we actually only have 2 ports on the side here, nothing on the other side or on the back side here. So that means we are going to have to run without the little sensor over there. And the other thing is, I just realized I do not have any Teflon tape, so I might have to wait for that. But we can see that the little nipple up here for the vacuum line is on a swivel. It's not actually adjusting this. And then we have the adjustments right here with these 2 nuts. But we'll see exactly how we can adjust it when we get on the car. I know when we turn counterclockwise, or sorry, clockwise, that's going to raise the pressure. Counterclockwise, or loosening it, will lower the pressure. So we have this fitting here, which we're going to take out. I think we're going to run the gauge here right off the side, and it looks like, no, that's not anything I can take out. So we're going to run the gauge here off the side, and then we're just going to have that go right in here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start pulling the other regulator off. So unfortunately, this unit will not fit in there, mainly because that's straight out and not an elbow. So whenever we go to stick it in there, it just won't fit. Also, that's in the way. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go over there. I have more than enough fuel line to be able to reach over there. So we're still going to go from the T. The only difference is I'm going to reuse that fuel line. So we'll go into a T, we'll come out, go over there, and then this line that's under here will just get pushed back over. I'm probably going to cut it just a little bit short, and it will go into the bottom over there. We're just going to take that screw out, and we're going to stick this guy right there. So that way we'll be able to see the fuel from there, and then we'll know that the fittings and everything are in good shape. So let's go ahead and take the screw out of there and put it in there. Alright, so about 45 minutes and about a half a gallon of gas absorbed into my hands later, finally got everything installed. I'm not entirely proud of the way this is set up. It's all temporary, however, so it's whatever. As long as it works, it works. So we have the fuel pressure regulator over here mounted up. Everything's nice and tight. And then we have this vacuum line going around with this end being plugged, the screw. I know. However, I did not have a solid piece long enough, and I also didn't have any little connectors that would butt up or allow two wires to just hook up without having a hole out the side. So I just reused the old vacuum line. I can't wait to just have one steady line going through. I don't know what colors I want to go with. I might stay with blue. Actually, I'm probably going to stay with blue for this car as far as the vacuum lines go. But now that we have everything set up here, the next thing we have to do is we're going to have to get a jumper cable set up. And the reason by jumper, I don't mean battery jumper. We need to jump the fuse for the fuel pump. So we have this wire here. I have some terminals inside the car, and we need to find the fuse for that, jump it so that it's able to stay on, and we'll get a constant pressure that will let us know what our wide open throttle is. Then we'll turn on the car to set the idle fuel pressure. Now, they're in relation to each other, so if we set one, the other one should be set or within the ballpark. As long as the idle one isn't too low, we should be fine. So we're going to go ahead, hop in the car, look for this fuse, and go ahead and get this thing jumped. Let's do it. Alright, so after a little bit of research and finding out that jumping the fuse or the relay for the fuel pump is more or less pointless, because the simple fact that our ECU controls how much ground that our fuel pump gets, so at any point in time it's not always getting 12 volts. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tune it at idle, but my battery is ultra dead, as you can very clearly see right there, and I just got to kind of wait for it to charge. So while we wait for it to charge, we're actually going to be installing this guy, and this is just the used wiper motor that I have for the front here. And we can see, based on how this one comes in the box, it's going to be relatively easy to install. We just have those 3 screws that are up front. So let's go ahead, pull that other one out, and get this one in there. Oh, are you serious? There's a bolt on the back of this thing. Alright, so I actually had to put the screws back in to be able to get the nut off on the back. And I don't know whoever designed this, but it's absolutely terrible. And you should feel bad about yourself. But there is a crush washer and a nut on the back of this. As you can see, this is threaded. This is the new one here, or the replacement one. This is the old one. So what we're actually going to do is I'm going to plug this in and test it before putting this thing in here. Because if this is broken too, I'm going to be upset. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and listen for the motor. Alright, so that did not work. At least I'm assuming it didn't work. I didn't hear it turn on. So I am guessing that there's something going on with the wiring. But what I am going to do is I'm going to test this guy real quick with a battery to see if it works. And then I'll actually test this one as well. I feel dumb. So, before I had tested the voltage at the actual plug on the other side. However, this time I hook up the battery and I'm like looking at the wires here and I'm like, alright, I assume the white is the ground and that the red is the positive. So what I do is I go ahead, I touch this here into this, and the old pump works. Or not the old pump, but the old motor works, which is very, very, very unfortunate. So that means there is indeed something going on with the wiring. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on with that, but I'll do that at a later date. Right now, something I know I can fix is the absence of this guy. So this was actually missing when I bought the car. They had the windshield wiper, but nothing, no hardware to go on it. So $5 later, get a tiny nut, windshield wiper arm without the actual windshield wiper on it presently. And what I'm going to try and do, is get this into its position so I can get it on. There we go. And screw that on. So that's on there. I'll get that tightened up here in a second. I just want to get the windshield wiper on first. Alright. That's in there. Actually, let's take the stress off this thing so I can tighten this down. Has a little bit of play in it, but that's just what's on there. There we go. And to show that it works, so it would appear that I am 1 for 3 out of today. I can't get the car to turn over because this guy is not dead, but apparently weak. Means it won't turn the car on, and everything else on that thing will work. But weak means the car won't turn on. So I can't get it to turn over. I've been letting it sit while I was doing all the windshield wiper stuff. That took about 25-30 minutes, and it still didn't finish. Or didn't get charged up enough for me to be able to turn it over. So I'm going to have to go and let that thing charge. But anyway, we'll come back to this at a different day, so I will see you then. Alright, so next day, early, well not early in the morning, but early for me. From what I saw, the stock pressure is about, at idle, it said it was about 28-30 psi, where at wide open throttle it is 37, I think. So from what I could see on this, 2.1 is equal to about 30 psi when I did the calculator. This is more or less bar. I don't know why it says kilograms per cubic centimeter. It's essentially bar, but it's about 30 psi. So we want to shoot for 2.1, 2.2-ish. So let's go ahead and get this hooked up, jump in the car, start it up real quick. Come on, you can do it. No fuel pressure at all. That's weird. This was, I definitely saw it jump up yesterday. So this is kind of, let me turn this thing off. So I'm going to have to do a little digging to see exactly what's going on. So I'll be back in a couple minutes. Hopefully it's a couple minutes. So a few weeks later, Derek, and now we had some issues. So there was nothing actually wrong with the car. What ended up happening is way back when I installed the rearview mirror, I used a fuse jumper or a add a fuse thing. That thing stopped working. So it actually was not it was acting as if there was no fuse for the fuel pump. So I had to take that out and put the fuse back in. So now I don't have the electric rearview mirror, but the car actually works. So that's good. But I want to say thank you for watching the video, especially if you've made it this far. As always, if you like the video, go ahead and like it. And if you want to see any more videos coming from me with my 300ZX or the 335XI, make sure to hit the subscribe button along with the little bell icon right next to it, just so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And as always, thank you again. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I recall Central Park.